Now, obviously, you've noticed how many different brands have come out of China. And I'm just wondering, I remember there was NSU and Borquart, two German brands which both went bust in the 50s. And so those poor people who had a Borquart had to run around and find another person who had a Borquart who maybe was broken down, ready to give it up to have their spare parts kind of added to the old car. And now they're very collectible because there's only a few left. But with all those brands, some of them will fail. And then do you have like an orphan sitting there and you wonder what to do?
So Joy and I were invited to the Xpeng launch in Hong Kong. Do you want to talk about what He Xiaoping said?
Yeah, I mean, they're aware of that. They actually openly state that. And they know that there'll be, only some brands will survival of the fittest. So they just take it as part of natural market forces. And I think they know that it's not so much that they'll completely die, but they will just get eaten up by all the other brands. So there'll be brand consolidation. And so you end up with kind of like with the mobile phone situation, you just have like sort of like a few companies that make the phones.
Right. That means the more exotic you buy now, the chances are that car either is going to be a niche car or going to wander, because I like the look of the Polestar, for example, one of the earlies, and then I heard about something about financial trouble, and then I did a bit more research, and then I realized they're actually part of a huge group. So how can somebody write about financial trouble when they're actually part of that big group? So does it mean that maybe some of the large groups will consolidate their own brands, or how do you see
it? It's the same as retail, isn't it? Like even retail in this country, you've got like the Coles Myer group or like Woolies, Big W. It's like they're separate brands, but they're kind of like all owned by one kind of big parent company. So the ones that do well survive. Sometimes they get propped up by the other company, but then if not, then off they go.
I think what we're seeing in Australia, I think we'll be fine. There are so many brands. We went to the Auto Shanghai show earlier this year. There are so many brands, like literally almost 100 Chinese brands out there.
Wow.
We're seeing just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're only seeing the best of the best from China. They're not going to export something that's not going to do well. So we've got, as you said, Polestar, which is the Geely conglomerate. So that covers Zeekr, Polestar, Volvo, Geely themselves. And you've got BYD, which is another huge group. They sell 30% of EVs in China. You've got Xpeng, which is another one we just talked about, and Deepal, which is also Chang'an. So we're already seeing, and Chery, MG, they're kind of the best of the best already, I think, in Australia. So I'm fairly confident they'll last the distance.
So what you're saying is the ones that are really, really exotic, we're not even getting them at the moment.
I don't think so. We've seen a lot in China, on the roads and at the show, and I think those ones, the little ones won't come here. They just don't have the capacity to export.
But there are some that we even saw. There were many of them in China on the roads, but they don't even bother coming here because they don't really want to bother with the Australian market. So there's some of that as well. It's like they're happy to stay in the domestic market or go to like a more quote unquote glamorous international market like Europe or actually not really America, Europe mainly, that they see that as like a more glamorous market in the Middle East.
Having said that though, we're in a very fortunate position because as you know, we have no tariffs on Chinese EVs. So we've got a huge opportunity in Australia right now to showcase, or to test what China's showcasing. So we've got so many brands here in Australia that I don't think any other market has to that extent. At one stage, New Zealand was ahead of us with what they were getting, but we're actually ahead now. We've got a lot to test from. I know Europe is probably more lucrative for China, but at the moment with no tariffs, I mean, even Europe and the UK have got tariffs, and obviously America's got tariffs on China, but in Australia and New Zealand, no tariffs. So they see us as a testing ground for their cars, and as content creators, it's great because we can actually show the world what these cars are like on our real roads.
Please support the channel by liking the video, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and check out all our other videos. Want more energy answered? Visit yourenergyanswers.com for quality energy products, tools and calculators, and find your quality local installers. You're still here? I'll see you next time. Bye.